Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Are you preparing for your first, second, or third classroom observation for this school year? If you are a beginning teacher and new to the system pero gusto mo nang magkaroon ng higher chances for you to have that perfect score in CO, this video is made perfect for you. I am teacher Larissa, and in this episode, I will share with you the material that I used last year which almost gave me that perfect score in my CO plus the only missing factor for me to have that perfect 7. Are you ready to start? So now I will be sharing with you the slide presentation that I have used last year in my demonstration lesson, which is about investigating the properties of light. So on my first slide, I also included the quarter number, the week number, and the day number. But as you can see, it is not necessary to put these things on your slide. It is your preference if you wanted to put these things on your slide, but it is not required. Okay, so the next part of my slide presentation is the review part or the illicit part, wherein I entitled it as Arrange Me. In doing your activities, especially if you're doing your CO or classroom observation lesson, it is very necessary if you make it somewhat lively or i-gamify nyo yung inyong demonstration activities, just like what I did. So every now and then, I always put title in every single activity that I incorporate in my lesson. So as for my students to look forward to whatever we are doing inside the classroom. So since they are to arrange the jumbled letters on the board, I entitled it as simple as Arrange Me. So they are gonna arrange the letters that are pre-made and is on the board. So, meron din ako doon na inattach na pictures in order for them to arrange the letters easier kasi nga may time limit lang yung ating illicit part or the review part of our lesson. And then as you can see on my slide, I also included the minute-to-minute video which makes this part of the activity livelier. Kasi yung mga estudyante, kapag may video ka na ganito, may minute-to-minute ka, na they will feel like they are part of a game show at mas mabuboost mo yung kanilang interest na mag-join doon sa iyong particular activity. So after this part, dito ko din ginawa yung memory gesture wherein I just asked them kung natatandaan pa nila yung memory gesture na tinuro ko sa kanila, which is about the reflection and then the refraction part. And then at the same time, nagagawa ko rin yung vocabulary integration ng English subject in terms of unlocking of difficulties sa mga estudyante ko. So, in this part, ginamit ko yung syllabication of words and then incorporating the definition of that word. Okay, so the next part of my slide presentation is about the objectives of my lesson. So this one is not really necessary to be in the slide presentation, but then if you want your learners to see what they are going to be achieving at the end of the lesson, then you can also include this in your slide presentation. So in my case, I just entitled it as what can I do at the end of the lesson? Well, I entitled it as what can I do, so that the students will know what they can do at the end of the lesson after they will learn about the lesson that we're going to tackle or discuss at the specific day. So my lesson objectives for this lesson are: I can investigate properties and characteristics of light. I can infer that white light has different colors. I can appreciate the wonders of nature through drawing. If you can notice, nasa first person point of view yung aking ginamit dito para alam ng mga estudyante na sila at their own point of view na ito yung mga ma-achieve ko at the end of the lesson. Okay, now, so let's proceed on my motivation part or the first part of the engage, wherein pinakita ko itong picture na ito ng rainbow sa mga estudyante ko, and then tinanong ko sila if they have seen a rainbow before in their lives. And then I asked them to share a couple of their experiences. What are their experiences when they saw a rainbow, when they commonly saw a rainbow, and then what does a rainbow look like? And then after that, dahil na-elicit ko na yung responses nila from that specific part of the lesson, I also asked them, do you have any idea how rainbows are formed? And then, dahil dun sa question na yon, maglilid ka doon sa engaging part of your lesson wherein yung mga estudyante mo, they will form this interest to listen to whatever you're gonna say because they will be somehow curious with how the rainbows are formed. And then this part of the slide, I've shown them the story of the rainbow. So, inintroduce ko sa kanila yung Indian legend about the ancient people talking about how the rainbows are formed. But then this is not scientifically based, but this is just a story. And then this is somehow related with our lesson in ESP, which is about the kulturang di material at material. And then, briefly ko lang diniscuss sa kanila na itong legend ay isang example ng isang kulturang material because ito yung tinatakal namin sa ESP. So, this part gave me additional credit because my school head, natuwa siya dahil nilocalize ko yung instruction sa pag-deliver ng story na to in terms of creating a pre-recorded video about the story of the rainbow. But then you can also use your own strategy in delivering this story by means of asking your students. So, group 1, okay, kayo muna yung magbasa ng paragraph number 1. Group 2, kayo yung paragraph number 2. And so on and so on. Kasi depende naman sa strategy nating mga teacher kung paano natin mas mai-engage yung mga bata doon sa lesson na pinapresent natin sa kanila. So, that is just one suggestion that you may want to consider. Or pwede naman kayong gumawa ng big book, but that would be time-consuming as well. Mas madali siguro kung halimbawa very short lang yung preparation yung when it comes to your CO, then you can only have a slide and then just record yourself telling the story and then you already have your self-made video lesson. Okay, so papasadahan ko lang yung aking slide presentation about the story of the rainbow. So, as you can see, ayan, nag-add ako ng mga characters for the story. So, yung mga estudyante ko, very happy sila makita yung mga characters na yan. And then, biglang nagkakaroon ng color yung text. Nilalagyan ko na siya ng color. So, since orange is the one talking, so orange yung magiging color ng text. Then, red is the one talking, magiging red yung color ng text, and so on and so on. Okay? Ayan. And then, nag-add din ako ng visual effects and then sound effects para mas maging exciting yung storytelling doon sa mga estudyante. Which is very exciting kasi mga 4th grade students or 4th grade learners, gustong-gusto nila yung mga ganyan na catchy images and sound effects. Okay? And then after that, we proceeded with our group activity. Okay, so before kami mag-proceed doon sa pag-distribute ko ng activities or tasks per group, ay diniscuss muna namin yung rubrics for group activity as well as the norms of doing the group activity. So, yung mga estudyante, guided sila, alam nila kung ano yung mga dapat nilang i-consider while doing their activity. So, these are just some of the things that I included as part of the rubrics in grading them. Cleanliness and orderliness, demonstration of activity, presentation, content and clarity, punctuality. These are all my personal preferences while rating my students. So, depende po sa inyo kung ano po yung ilalagay nyo sa rubrics. If you want to adapt my rubrics, then it's okay. But if you want to make your own rubrics and then the percentages, totally depends po on your preference. Okay, so add ko lang dito sa grouping. So, dito ako medyo bumaba yung score ko. So, naging 6 lang yung score ko dito sa particular part na ito. Because yung school head ko, she was looking for a differentiated task. So, even though I have 3 sets of differentiated activities sa aking students, so since marami ang estudyante natin sa Pilipinas, masyadong marami yung 8 students or 8 learners sa isang group, dapat mas ma-divide pa natin siya sa mas smaller group. So, kung makakapag-isip pa kayo ng dalawa pa na additional activities na pwede nating ipagawa sa mga estudyante natin, pwede naman. At kung yun naman ay okay lang sa school head nyo, ay okay lang din naman. Depende naman yun sa strategy nyo, paano nyo mamamaximize yung task ng group, and then kung paano nyo rin mamamaximize yung time. So, since ako kasi very much after ako doon sa pag-achieve ko ng aking objectives within the given time frame. So, grinop ko lang yung mga estudyante in 3 groups. So, lahat ng mga grupo na yun ay makapag-present doon sa aming group presentation. But then, if you can still add 2 more sets of groups, then you can also add poem making or jingle rhyme. Mas maganda din kasi differentiated activity din yon, and then the students can also present their work in 2 minutes per group. Okay, so add ko lang din dun kanina, may nakita kayong timer kanina dun sa aking group activity. So, yung timer na yon magsa-start yon after ko ibigay sa kanila yung envelope na may mga tasks na binigay ko sa kanila. And then, after matapos ng oras, magsa-stop na lahat sila, and then dapat yung mga activities nila ay nakapost na sa board. And then, pincheck ko na itong group presentation, dun pa rin yung rubric. So, yung mga estudyante, guided pa rin sila sa kung ano yung dapat nilang i-focus while they are presenting their work in class. So, dito sa part na to, pumasok din yung question and answer portion wherein I asked them 1 to 2 questions, and then to satisfy the fourth criteria in my rubric, which is the content and clarity. So, kung para meron din namang mga questions yung classmate nila sa kanila, pwede din silang mag-ask doon sa group na nagpa-present. So, on this part, pumasok yung aming elaboration part. So, kanina dun sa group presentation, that is the explanation part wherein the students, on their own point of view, they are going to explain whatever they have observed and the tasks that were given to them. But on this part, we are gonna elaborate the ideas that they have. So, I use a video that I have taken from YouTube, and then on this part, nagkaroon ulit kami ng integration sa math subject kasi nagkaroon ng angle para mabuo para ma-disperse yung light, yung white light into different colors. So, dun sa particular part na yun ng video na to, pinost ko yung video, and then I asked them, okay, what kind of angle is this? So, this is like an acute angle. Okay, what is an acute angle? And then, what is an obtuse angle? Nagkaroon na kami ng brief, again, very brief lang na integration of math subject in this particular area wherein we are discussing or elaborating the concept of how white light can be dispersed into different colors and then eventually form the rainbow. Okay, so now, nandito na po kami sa elaboration part pa rin ng lesson, but then this is the abstraction or the generalization part. And as you can see, pinakita ko sa kanila yung image na nakuha ko doon sa isang part ng room namin. So, early on, nung umaga, nagtry ako na gamitin yung prism in order for me to disperse the white light coming from the sunlight para makapag-create ng rainbow. So, this one added me a credit as well while I'm doing the lesson because this is localized. Kasi yung picture na ito is taken inside our classroom. So, this one is considered by my school head as part of localization since yung picture na ito is a picture that is within our locality or just within our classroom, something that is really familiar with my students, and they can actually, oh, dito pumesto si teacher para makuha yung angle kung saan na-form niya yung rainbow. And then after that, I just told them that the spreading of white light into its full spectrum of wavelengths is called dispersion. And then I also added dispersion doon sa aming memory gesture, which is dispersion, but then now spreading off. That will be added to their science vocabulary, which is part of their science notebooks. Isusulat nila yun dun sa kanilang science vocabulary, dispersion, and then what is the definition of that word. Okay, so nandito na tayo sa exciting part ng aking lesson kung saan pinakita ko sa kanila yung realia na ginawa ko, which is made out of sa LEC nung electric fan, and then nag-attach lang ako ng color wheel doon. So, since sabi ko sa kanila, are you familiar with color wheel or saan pa natin makikita yung colors of the rainbow? So, since nadidiscuss din nila to sa arts, so sinabi ko din sa kanila that it could be the color wheel. And then yun nga, meron akong pre-made na color wheel, and then inattach ko siya doon sa LEC nung electric fan, which is tinago ko doon sa ilalim ng table ko, doon sa demonstration table ko in front of the class. And then sabi ko sa kanila, mag-focus sila doon sa color wheel kasi kapag inon ko yung electric fan, there will be a magic. Okay, and then that is what we call the Newton's disk. So, nung nag-turn yung electric fan, yung LEC ng electric fan, all of the students were like, wow, kasi parang nag-vanish yung different colors of the color wheel and nag-turn lang siya into white color because of the motion nung disk or nung LEC nung tinurn on namin yung fan. And that is the exciting part of my lesson. And then they were able to say that yes, yung white light pala, pwede din, yes, yung color, different colors of color wheel, pwede din pala natin siyang i-turn back into white color in this kind of phenomena. And for them, as fourth grade learners, this is kind of like a magic being shown in front of them. So, pagkatapos ng magic na ipinakita ko sa kanila, and I guess kapag pinakita nyo rin yun sa mga estudyante nyo, matutuwa sila dahil talaga namang nakakatuwa yung mga ganong klase ng tricks na ipapakita mo sa kanila kasi for them, science is kind of like magic. So, yun nga lang, kailangan nating itest yung kanilang knowledge dun sa natutunan nila for today's lesson. So, I just ready or prepared 5-item quiz na not recorded, but then for me to know how many of them were able to understand the topic itself. So, ito lang po yung aking ginamit na evaluation. Write T if the statement is true and F if it is false. So, I just asked them to write F and T para mabilis po namin na matapos yung quiz. So, I just read the questions for them one by one, and then they write their answers on their notebooks. Okay, and then after that, we already checked their answers para alam agad ng mga estudyante ilan yung nakuha nilang score for our today's lesson. Alright, so now, since during that day, ang sa pagkakatanda ko, wala na kaming masyadong time, so I just let them copy this one as their homework. But then again, if there's still more time, then you can ask them to write at least 2 sentences on how they feel every time they see rainbow in the sky. And if you can also ask them to draw rainbow on their notebooks para meron silang memory of what we have discussed today. Like, it's the rainbow, how rainbows are formed. So this is just a simple reflection of what they've learned from the lesson. It could be part of their journal as well, and it is a good part of integrating values dun sa lesson na diniscuss nyo for the day. So, homework is a part of the extension activity that we can also add in order for the students to better remember what is the lesson that we discussed on that particular day. And then that's it. This is my detailed lesson plan about my CO last year, which again gave me an almost perfect score in my CO. Again, the only missing factor in my demonstration teaching is the number of activities that I can give to my students. So, kung pwede nyong ma-maximize yung number of activities na pwede nyong gamitin sa inyong classroom demonstration, give it your best shot. Kung kaya nyo siyang gawing 5, then just do it. You can also ask or seek for the assistance or help from your rater, could be from your master teacher, or it could be from your school head, dahil mas alam nila kung ano yung mas babagay at mas magiging effective doon sa delivery ng inyong demonstration lesson. But then again, thank you for tuning in, and this is me, Teacher Larissa, and see you again on my next video about how I can help you in making your own detailed lesson plan, especially in Science 4.
Here are some of the feedback from my school head during our POS conference. This is a copy of a rating sheet of COT na ginagamit for teachers 1 to 3 ng ating rater. Since wala na akong physical copy ng aking COT rating from last year and malabo din siya doon sa picture, I will just share with you that it is number 6 indicator kung saan ako nagkaroon ng 6 as my score. Number 6 is uses differentiated, developmentally appropriate learning experiences to address learners' gender, needs, strengths, interests, and experiences. And again, kaya naging mababa ang aking score sa particular indicator na ito ay dahil insufficient yung aking activities na nai-prepare sa number of students na meron ako sa aking class.
If you like this video, do not forget to hit like and subscribe sa ating channel at i-ring mo na rin ang iyong notification bell para manatili kang updated sa ating susunod na videos. You can also follow me on my different social media accounts for